Just before we go on the show, let's quickly bring you updates from the international scene. As we're learning just a moment ago, global shares crept up slightly and bonds held steady today as investors awaited the next round of likely gloomy inflation data, while also juggling concerns about Europe's energy crisis, a looming recession, and more rate hikes. The Pan-European Stocks Index rose nearly 1%, while MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan rose to 0.6%. U.S. shares looked set to follow suit with S&P futures 1% as markets recovered from a round of selling following hawkish remarks by Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell at the Jackson Hole conference last week. Now, China's benchmark Shanghai Composite Index shed 0.6% on news that several big cities had ramped up COVID-19 restrictions. In Qatar, the central bank says it has issued the first license in the country for Redo Money and iPay by Vodafone Qatar to practice the activity of providing digital payment services. This development is an initial step to include all companies providing digital payment services under the supervision of the Qatar Central Bank to contribute to the development of the financial technology sector and enhance financial inclusion. Now, the central bank in Qatar recently launched the mobile payment service Google Pay in the country, reiterating that all global digital wallet services for cards such as Apple Pay, Samsung Pay and Google Pay are now accepted in Qatar. Toyota Motor July global vehicle production fell at 8.6% year-on-year, missing its targets for 4 straight months as COVID-19 outbreaks, severe weather and a recall probe on top of a persistent chip storage hot output. The world's largest automaker by sales produced 706,547 vehicles worldwide last month, below its target of around 800,000 units, and a year ago about 773,135. Production in the first 4 months of the current fiscal year that started in April has fallen 10.3% short of its initial plan. The global auto industry has weathered supply chain disruptions caused by chip shortages and China's strict COVID-19 restrictions, but Toyota has also been dealing with heavy rain in Japan, a production line halt due to a recall investigation, and coronavirus outbreaks at a local plant. However, the sustained weakness in overall performance in July has raised concerns that Toyota may have to lower its annual production target of 9.7 million vehicles, even as China dials back pandemic restrictions and chip shortages are showing some signs of easing. And to wrap things off, oil prices on the international markets fell today on fears that an inflation-induced weakening of global economies would soften fuel demand. And as Iraqi crude exports have been unaffected by clashes, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude opened the second day of the week in the red zone, selling at $96.91 per barrel with a price drop of 0.10%. The Brent crude now sells at $104.70 per barrel, registering a downward price margin of 0.41%. The Bonnie Light's trading value remains static at $100.70 per barrel, with a price decline of 2.37%. For the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers offer $104.90 per barrel, recording an uptick in price of 0.21%.